Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Hello, I'm Katie, and as always, I've got Noel here with me. Hey, Noel.
Hello.
Noel, question for you.
Dear, not a good start.
Did you know that 39% of businesses aren't even thinking about using AI or automations yet?
Crazy stat. And yes,
Crazy
I did know
stat.
the answer to that.
So that stat came from a YouGov survey. Yeah, so that's almost 4 in 10 businesses are, I feel like I'm missing out on this opportunity to save time, money, energy.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? When you think it's like 4 in every 10 haven't even considered, it's just crazy. Yeah. I mean, for me, I think everyone does, but then kind of ingrained in it all. So you kind of lose sight of the big picture sometimes.
Yeah. So in this episode, we're actually going to be breaking down some of the reasons why businesses hold back, how to overcome some of those barriers, and the first steps that you can start to implement AI and automations, without feeling the overwhelm or even having to spend thousands. Anything that really we mention on this podcast, it doesn't involve you spending thousands and thousands on software or anything like that right now.
That's correct, yeah. And most of the things that we talk about, they also have a lot of free plans as well. So, if you just want to dip in, have a go, then, obviously make.com have a great free plan, of course, which is also what we talk about a lot. So, there's all kinds of tools. And, anytime that I ever train or teach any of this sort of stuff, then I always make sure that there's free plans available so anyone can give it a go. And, if they decide it's great and then decide to buy a subscription somewhere, then that's up to them.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share a few more stats. So this is all from the YouGov survey that was done by ANS. 39% of businesses aren't even considering AI. 88% of businesses aren't even discussing AI or automations at board level.
It's a crazy stat.
Crazy stat. So this tells me that a lot of businesses are behind the curve.
Yes. You see, I think most of them probably don't understand the technicalities, or maybe think that this is beyond them or too complicated to even think about getting started. So that's probably one of the things. I'm sure you might have a stat for that in a minute.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what other stats I have up my sleeve?
Yeah, it's kind of a common thing that I come across when I talk to businesses, and they go, "Yeah, but what can I automate in my business?" I'm like, "Well, it's up to you to kind of figure out what you do." And I can never answer that question for people.
Yeah. But we're going to help people with that. Further on in this podcast episode, we're going to be discussing that. So for me, this whole buzz around AI automations is very much the buzz that we had around social media back in the day.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people who are willing to start using AI and automations and experiment now will gain a competitive advantage. What are your thoughts on that, Noel?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, they'll definitely have a leg up because although technology is moving along at a very quick pace right now.
Yeah.
So, in 6 months' time, it could be completely different to what it is today, and I expect it would be the case. But let's say you incorporate something today. You're only you've only just got to keep up and, continually update, whereas in 2 years' time when you come in afresh, you're like, well, now I've got to learn everything from scratch. Whereas somebody that started now is, they've got that knowledge that they've built up over that time, and they're, always one step ahead of everyone else. So yeah, never too late. Always get in there now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I don't feel like it is going to be like a passing trend. I feel like it's very much going to be like almost like the foundations for business operations and like customer services, those type of roles, for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for some more stats?
Oh, I might be, yeah. Why not?
Okay. So this was then broken down, these stats. So from this YouGov survey, why people aren't using like AI and automations into their business. So 35% of people said that they had no staff or they lacked skills, which we understand. Like, I feel like many businesses think they need this huge like AI automations team, someone really technical, this expert to be part of their team. I personally don't think they do. What are your thoughts, Noel?
I guess initially no, but it's never like long term. Yes, you should probably look into, if you've already got a team, to start training and bringing in those people with those skills so you can maintain it going forward. Initially you could get away with like a consultant to come in and, help you get started, get ahead of the curve, and then look to train after.
Yeah. And I feel like if you're not someone with a team, it is maybe just you, maybe it's just you and an assistant. I would just like maybe start with yourself and, learn those basic AI skills.
Yes.
Invest in training rather than hiring this expert that either isn't like affordable or it's not possible.
Yes, I would say there's being in this world, there is a lot of people that will overcharge for these services. So you kind of got to be careful for that as well. Yeah, so I've seen lots of youngish people that have got no business experience selling these sort of things for tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
and they're like really simple automations, and they're not really worth that. Yes, you'll eventually get a return of investment on that, but it'll be a lot longer before you get to that point. So
yeah. I can remember having this conversation with someone we met at an event, and they had told us how much they had spent on a AI agent getting built. And I think both of us, like when he told us the price, like our eyes actually popped out of our heads, like the cartoon.
Yeah.
They kind of like popped right out and then back in.
Yeah. I think the look on our face, I guess he wished the floor would have just swallowed him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a silly amount of money, wasn't it? It didn't even work either, did it? If I remember rightly, what he was saying. It didn't work properly anyway, not what he wanted. It didn't
work properly, and I think as well they charged him quite an obscene amount of money for like a monthly retainer after they had built it.
Yes. Yeah, that was crazy money.
Yeah. So I think it's really important, actually, if you do want something built for you, actually, these things shouldn't be costing you thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yes. Yeah. I guess it all kind of also depends on like the scope of work. So if you're asking for a hell of a lot to be done, then yes, it will be expensive. But if you're asking for something simple, it shouldn't be all that much.
But then again, something simple is relative, isn't it, to different people. So an AI agent to you is very simple, but for someone who's just starting out, it feels very overwhelming.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that.
But as well, like we always say on this podcast as well, like just start using tools that don't require any code, things that you can implement as well. So Noel's favourite, make.com, not sponsored. to talk about me, but it's Noel's favorite platform. But yeah, and there's other things out there that a lot of other people that will be familiar with, like Zapier, ManyChats, and you can even use Claude and ChatGPT and things like that.
Yeah, you can get quite a long way with like a custom GPT or using like the projects with either Claude or ChatGPT. They can, it's just getting in and using that, because there's a crazy amount of people, isn't there, in the UK that have never even used an LLM or a chat model.
Yeah, you told me this stat. Was it today? And you were like 50, was
53%.
53?
Yeah.
Of people in the UK have not used a LLM.
Yeah.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, there's only 600 million users on ChatGPT. So in the grand world scheme of things, that's still not that many. Although that number's probably gone up by now, but yeah. I was a little old.
Yeah. I think my mum's probably one of those people.
Yeah. From where that stat came from, that was all people of working age. So yeah. Yeah. It was all the way from like 18 to retirement age is where it was at.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of, I think it was 88% of people that were between the ages of 18 and 24 had used it. So obviously lots of essays for school and dissertations for university have been used.
Yeah.
Using ChatGPT to do the research or whatever.
Yeah. Well, as well, like a lot of people use that instead of Google now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So again, that's like, why the AI SEO is really important as well, because especially if you've got a younger target market, then, a lot of these people aren't using Google anymore. They're finding all the answers out on something like ChatGPT.
Yeah. They haven't got time to go Googling.
No. No. I know. I don't really tend to use Dr. Google anymore. I now use Dr. ChatGPT.
That's sometimes worse.
But he makes it very clear, I'm not a doctor. And I'm like, I know you're not.
Yeah, you should see one. Wow.
Well, I knew it was that easy. I wouldn't be asking you, Dr. ChatGPT. Okay, so our next stat, which we've kind of like talked about, but 30% of people said the reason why they're not using AI and automations in their businesses is due to high costs. So I think, like, what we talked about just now, people imagine that AI and these automations cost, thousands and thousands of pounds, but like we said, there are low cost tools. There's even free tools that you can start using for a very affordable price. And I think as well, like, people try and like do everything, don't they, at once. And Noel, you've said this I don't know how many times, but it's like start with one thing, something that's going to maybe give you like a some time back, or some some of your energy back, some money back, just one area, that you are able to maybe, measure the return of investment on it, and then go from there. But I know, like, no, you've built out tools for people, and although they've had to pay for like the chatbot, for example, that you built out, yes, it cost them money, but it saved them like 10 hours of
about 10 hours of support a week.
Yeah, which if you think, well, how much do they maybe pay someone per hour, or what could they be doing with that time instead? Like, that's the return on investment straight away, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I used to work as part of that team as well, and it was like, well, if we build this and then that's doing that work, you could use our time to do something else that could help your customers.
Yeah.
We can forget about that. That can do its own thing. And if there is anything that somebody asks it that it can't answer, then that was only like a couple of % of the time that would happen. Then, they can engage with everyone within that membership and get answers that way,
Yeah.
So, it freed up a hell of a lot of time so we could do cool stuff, which was nice.
Yeah, really great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And I think this might be my last stat.
Really?
So apparently 25% of people were uncertain about ROI, so return of investment, when it came to using AI and automations within their business.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we always say, start small, start with something measurable, start with something low risk. And then track, the maybe the time saved or the money that you have saved. And I feel like you'll get a really clear idea of the ROI on that automation.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that would sell automation services aren't very clear with like that costs is always like something they never talk about publicly. It's not like you can go on, say, HubSpot and then say, well, this is going to cost me $50 a month. You know that, you see the price, that's what you pay. So yeah, there is a bit tricky to work out, but we created a calculator on our website which can help you to figure out the ROI for any sort of project. You can input all of your own numbers. I think we supplied some rough numbers if you were getting a third party in to do that, just generic numbers, but you can put in your own hourly numbers in there if you've already worked that out, and things like that, and then you can then see the full breakdown of even how long it's going to take until you hit that break-even point. If it's going to be like in 2 years' time, maybe it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be like next week, then well, yeah, that's probably quite good to do.
Yeah. So we'll put the link for that calculator in our show notes. But yeah, it's on our website, which is makeautomations.ai. Okay. And actually, I just thought of a really good example of ROI on another project that Make Automations, which is my Noel's agency, worked on. I'll let you talk about it. No, I think you know the one that I'm talking about. Okay, over to you.
So this was kind of like a brand agency, and they had thousands of people signed up to their database. But whenever someone came to them and said, well, hey, we would like influencers to promote X product, him and his team would then have to go through that database and filter it, and then go through each account and then go, right, well, that account could be a good fit. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's been deleted. Right, well, next one. Are they active? Not really. They're not meeting our criteria. So there was a lot of manual effort that he was doing and his team was doing. So we built out, this had no AI in it either, which is crazy. But we built out this automation, and pretty much all what it did initially was to go through his entire database and get all of the live stats for the last month for every single person on there. And also highlight all the accounts that have been deleted or were incorrect URLs and things like that. So we cleared out all of all the errors and things like that in his data set. And that was saving his team, I don't know, probably 10, 15 hours, maybe even more than that, depending on how many influencers a brand would want. That saved them all that time. And then we even had an automation in there. So let's say there was a particular influencer they wanted to approach for this. They could just click a button and go, right, get all of the stats for that person. And they would just draw all that live data into their database. And they go, right, well, actually, this person doesn't actually meet the criteria anymore. So we can't put them forward. So we'd have to go off and then find another one they work with. But it's just a click of a button. It was done in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, because to try and do that manually must have been absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
It must have taken them so long.
Yes. Yeah. And all of the data that people were putting in from the form. So they would say like their follower count was like between 10 and 25K. And it was just like a drop down list. It was never an exact number. But these were numbers that were being put in like 2 years ago. So that account could have like 1 million followers. So they didn't really know all of that information either. So where they were filtering, they were probably missing the golden nugget influencers that were in there. They just couldn't see it. But yeah, with all that information, they were just like, wow, okay. Yeah, they completely changed their business.
Yeah. That's
in the
so
end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, so let's help people start using AI and automations. today with their business. So how do you get started? We're going to give you a 3-step plan. So the first one is like identify those tasks that you are doing on repeat. So Noel, do you want to give us an example of what some of those might be?
It could be anything where let's say you're creating like reports, but you're doing the same thing every single time. You've got to do 5 a day or whatever. It's those sort of tasks that are just, although they're probably quite easy to do, they're probably, when you add it all up over a week, they're probably taking a lot of time. So it's finding those really repetitive tasks. I mean, you might already find them really frustrating and annoying anyway. So they're probably, any tasks that fall into that category, probably look at automating those first.
Yeah. But it could be anything from like data entry to social media posting, following up with clients.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything like that. So just anything where you are repeating or like copying and pasting things.
Yes. Well, yeah, give those Control V and C keys a rest.
Yeah. Okay. So step 2 would be to pick your tools. So obviously, Noel, you love make.com.
I do, yes. But there are other tools available, of course.
Other tools are available.
Yes, but yeah, it's kind of like looking at the tools that you have in your business as well. So are you using, things like Slack, or do you have like Xero as your accounting software? And, it's understanding everything that you use and then figuring out which platform for automations is probably going to be best for you. With Make, they've got like 2,000 apps that are already in there that you can just start using today. That's fine. Appier's probably got about the same. There's others. N probably doesn't have anywhere near as that many, so that's harder to learn. But yeah, it's just figuring out what you use and where you can then go and automate them in an easier way.
But it's also things as well, like, many chats and like Calendly, and, it doesn't have to be like things like Zapier or Make. It could just be other simple software.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, doesn't matter what you use to automate.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're not trying to use as well every single like tool. Like just start with like maybe one, one automation, one workflow, and see where it takes you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. And then obviously you're setting that up. But what we want you to do is obviously measure, if you can, the ROI. So is it time saved? Is it money? Is it hours freed up? Is it, a faster client response? Is it, less errors because it's, not maybe a human doing it, it's AI doing it. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Noel? Anything that you feel like I've missed?
So I guess within our school community, we do go into these step-by-steps in a lot more detail, don't we?
Oh, so much detail. Like we literally hold your hand through the whole process.
Yeah. So yeah, there are extra bits like you should really start understanding like the basics of prompt engineering.
Yeah.
Because if you're not every automation needs AI, but when you do, you need to learn and figure out how to use that in a way so your automations work right first time every time. That's the main aim. So yeah, we've also got some other bits about compliance and things like that. So I think actually one of the other big barriers for people or businesses not adopting AI, I can't remember the exact stat now. I think it was in the 20 to 30% range. It was basically because they were unsure about the security and privacy of the data. So yeah, we go through all of that, and we've been through that in an earlier podcast episode as well. But yeah, most people don't understand that the API, when you use it in automations with AI, is actually very secure. These companies don't access that information, they don't see it, and yeah, if they did, they'd be sued into a non-existence by some very big corporations.
Yeah, and we always recommend as well Lucy Wheeler's Legal AI Toolkit, which is absolutely fantastic. Noel and I learned so much from going through that. It's at a reasonable price as well. Obviously it can go on business expenses, but I'm not giving you financial advice. I just like to, put that disclaimer on.
a financial advisor.
I'm not a financial advisor, but I do really rate Lucy's legal AI toolkit, and she's constantly updating it as well. So, when new things come in, she's updating it, and that's included in the price. So you're not having to, pay for more and more updates. Like that is the only cost, you would have to purchase to able to get access to those updates. But there are so many things that we were like, we hadn't thought about that, and that's actually a really interesting point, and we need to make sure that actually we need to have that really clear, or like watertight, and even like the terms and conditions on your website as well, like make sure they are up to date as well for like AI. So really, really important. Like Noel said, we do have a episode on all of that. So we'll put Lucy's AI Legal Toolkit below. We'll also put the episode that we did with Lucy as well, the link for that below as well. But yes, if this has inspired you to start putting in automations and AI into your business, then we are very excited, and obviously we would love to hear from you. If you feel like you need a little bit more hand-holding, someone that you can ask questions to, on a frequent basis, and, have a bit more community support, then we would absolutely love to welcome you into the AI Business Club, which is our membership over on the school platform. And we will drop the link for that below as well, so you can check it out. And if you've got any questions about anything that we've discussed in this podcast episode, then just reach out to us. We're both on LinkedIn, or you can come and find us on Instagram as well. And we will catch you next time for another episode very soon. Take care.